Don Lemon, Elon Musk, Elon and his billionaire fragile ego could not take it. Cuomo speaks out. Megyn Kelly speaks out. It's quite ironic, I have to tell you. Let me remind you, here it is.
So let's get into it. Are you under the influence of anything? You said you learned your lesson. What did you learn? So you don't consider that hate speech? What is the evidence? Do you have any responsibility to the truth?
That's a hell of a sizzle, man. Put up the picture full mask. The look on Elon's face in this, yes. It's basically how he feels on the inside. So to recap the events, previously Don Lemon was set to launch his show on X, already a big mistake in my opinion, with an interview with the platform's majority owner, Elon Musk. Okay? Following the taping of the interview, Don Lemon would announce that his partnership with X ended. Here it is.
Hi everyone, Elon Musk is mad at me. And I just put out a statement about what happened between him, me, and the interview that he is apparently so upset about. But make no mistake about this. This is going to be my first episode of the Don Lemon Show this coming Monday, March 18th. So make sure you tune in. This does not change anything about the show except for my relationship with Elon and X. And there's a whole lot that went down, and I'm going to tell you about in the coming days. I know, though, that many of you were not happy that I was doing this in the first place, and you told me so. I just want you to know that I did this deal because not only do I believe in free speech, but I believed that this was the best possible chance for the work that I'm doing to reach the largest amount of people. So speaking of free speech, right, I thought the first person interview, no brainer, Elon Musk, the man who calls himself a free speech absolutist. I asked him to do it. He willingly agreed to the interview. Throughout our conversation, I kept reiterating to him that although it was tense at times, I thought it was good for people to see and hear our exchange and that they would learn from our conversation, learn more about him, learn more about me. But apparently, free speech absolutism doesn't apply when it comes to questions about him from people like me. What did we talk about? Why is he so upset? Does he even have a reason to be upset? Make sure you watch it on Monday on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can decide for yourself. You can even watch it on X because I'm still going to post it there, and I'm sure others will as well.
Yeah, ironically, I wasn't checking for this interview until this happened. So I think this is actually a plus for Don Lemon. It is quite ironic that the man who proclaims to be a free speech absolutist doesn't want free speech at the workplace. He agreed to do the interview. He has not stopped the content of the interview with millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable. We just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. So here's a portion from it based on his appearance, Don Lemon's appearance on CNN.
This is a part of the conversation with Musk where you ask him about hate speech. Here it is.
Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
Obviously, you do care, Elon. I'm saying if you didn't care, you would not have fired the guy or discontinued the distribution relationship. But here's the thing, Don Lemon was smart enough to make sure that he owned the licensing to the interview. So the interview still gets to move forward. It comes out because he made sure he owned it. You see how that works? Naturally, Elon Musk does care because his reaction is evident. Now, the response from Cuomo, well, here it is.
And then Elon Musk, one, don't interview your boss, okay? Two, I understand why he didn't like a lot of the angles because it's not that they were just tough questions. Elon believes that they are false angles and that they are advancing narratives that the media likes to do to keep people kind of in this division down spiral.
Do you think that the questions that Don was asking were unfair? Were they questions you would not have asked if you were interviewing Elon Musk?
No, I mean, again, you got to be careful interviewing your boss. But they were, there were questions that you would have thought up almost immediately on the train ride to do the interview. I mean, it wasn't like he should have been surprised by any of these.
Right.
Right.
He's probably just surprised that someone has the.
Don is great at many things. He's not Mike Wallace. You know what I mean? It's like, what'd you think he was going to ask you?
Is Cuomo trying to get a job on X? I don't understand this. I mean, put up the picture full of Matt. Cuomo. So I got to tell you this, man. I'm saying this out of all due respect, sir. You haven't been the same since you've been at Tucker Carlson's house. And I don't know what's happening here. The banter back and forth between you and Don Lemon when the show would hand off on CNN, you all were talking about going to the barbecue together and say hey to your mom and how's the kids. I thought y'all were friends for real. You basically threw Don Lemon under the bus, brother. And yeah, so here's what Megyn Kelly, here's what Megyn Kelly said.
Don Lemon got fired again already. He fired before he really got hired. It's very hard for Don Lemon to keep a job, and we know why. And Elon reportedly cut him a multi-million-dollar deal, which he f***ed up right before he even launched the show. I will give it to Bill O'Reilly, who I saw a clip of him this morning saying, "Don't interview your boss. That is the lesson." I will say Don Lemon behaved like who was not grateful to Elon Musk for resurrecting his career. And O'Reilly's right. It's very hard for Don Lemon in this position to both be a good journalist and be a good employee. The man's paying your salary. So you do owe him a level of respect and discretion.
Hell no. Hell no, Megyn. Hell no. Megyn, you started your segment with Don Lemon has been fired again. Madam, you've been fired 3 times in your professional career that we know of. Okay? Bill O'Reilly got fired too. It's hard to be a good journalist and a good employee. You should know you were at Fox News ignoring all of the sexual abuse that was happening at Fox News against many of your colleagues, and according to you, madam, even yourself. Remember this, Megyn?
When I saw this headline, I kind of laughed and I said, "Oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. Jesus was a white man too, but it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that.
Yes, ma'am, the epitome of white privilege. Nowhere in the hell you're that dumb to get on TV with that kind of audience. But you did. And then after that, when you were no more at Fox, you get a job on NBC. And we said, you'll blow it. Once again, you had a racist moment. You get counseled, you get fired. Now, what Don Lemon did, to me, was completely within the scope of his profession. The fragile ego of a multi-billionaire is who you defend. You all have lost your way totally. Mayor Mondale, thoughts here?
I really don't have anything to say as it pertains to Don Lemon and Elon, because I was one of the guys in the brothers' email box, like, bro, don't do it. Reconsider, read some literature.
We saw it coming, man. We just didn't think it would be this fast. That's all.
Yeah. But I do want to talk about the racist dog whistles of Kelly and that all-white cast talking about it's hard for that black man to keep a job. Yeah. Let's be clear. Don Lemon worked 17 years at CNN. Ain't nothing hard about him to get a damn job. That is a job. That is a career, right? Furthermore, he walked away with $24.5 million.
Exactly.
His career does not need to be resurrected. It is solidified, period. And I do have, like you said about Fannie, I had some problems with Don Lemon and his coverage on some issues. But to be clear, I watched that brother in his last 2 or 3 years come around and be more outspoken about black issues. And I think they don't want to mention it, but it has something to do with his demise at CNN. Does not matter because his career's not over. YouTube's gonna pay him money because it's gonna be the same amount of eyes because people are gonna watch. Here's what I did see though. Santa just is white. Listen, he just is. Right. How about Santa just is fake? Just like the Little Mermaid just ain't white. Santa just ain't white. Jesus just is white. If Jesus was just white, his ministry would have been one of sunburn lotion. Because Jesus was born in Palestine. Don't get it twisted about what people are saying to you. That man's hair was as kinky as mine's. Skin probably your color, brother. So this idea that he just is the ridiculous that you can feed to people. And the telling part that they want you to know that all of history, everything that's significant was white, is something that she said that is extremely powerful, that the white people are using right now to rewrite how we teach kids in school.
That's right.
Just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean we need to change it. Well, tell all these Republican governors to stop banning damn books about Black history.
There you go. Well said. And Megyn Kelly provided the prerequisite spirit, the personality, the ideology that's behind all of this anti-woke legislation.